left off on part 3 and never came back. I'm sorry. I'm gonna do better. But nevertheless, let's get into it. That salad was busting. I had to get up in there. Now I'm back for real. So where did I leave off? Little recap. Told Lord here I wasn't messing with him no more. Got pregnant a week later. Told him after, no, I told him before I had my first appointment, but I told him on Mother's Day, 24. He was supportive of whatever decision I was going to make. And then we had that little scare where I was having first trimester bleeding. And then he just let loose, right? That's what the caption was. He said he wouldn't touch me anymore, right? Also that he would never touch me again, okay? So, like I said, I didn't talk to him for a couple of weeks. Not really sure how long a couple of weeks was. It could have been a week, it could have been 2 weeks, whatever the case was. Eventually, we did start talking again, and it wasn't because I wanted to talk to him. It was because he was trying to get my attention. Typical man stuff, but I was getting ready to move, and so I needed help packing up my apartment, and then at that point I just needed help packing up my apartment. So we spent a lot of time going to stores, getting a little totes so I can move my stuff over to where I was moving to next. And we didn't really talk, you know, while we were in the store. We did, but it was like passive aggressive, going back and forth, little stuff. It wasn't nothing like nothing cute or nothing like that. So it was one of the days I was getting ready to move. It was after work. He came over and he was helping me pack up like my kitchen and then my room or whatever the case was. So this was close to the time of me getting ready to move. And I had on this outfit. And I know what this man like, right? But I wasn't trying to appeal to him that day when I had on that outfit. What ended up happening was, and keep in mind he said he would never touch me again because I decided to keep my baby. So sitting there packing stuff up, like I don't have on a bra. Like I don't typically wear a bra when I don't have to. I don't like them. So as I'm getting the stuff together in the living room, because I think we had did the upstairs. No, I think I said I was gonna do my room. We had did when I say we, I mean he did my kitchen. We was doing my kitchen at this time, but he did my bathroom, I think my upstairs closet. Yeah, I think that's all he did. And then we went downstairs and he was doing the kitchen and I was doing the living room. So I'm standing up. I don't know, I was looking out the window or something. He walks up behind me. I said, oh, that's cute or whatever. You know, kissing on the neck. That's cute or whatever. But unhand me. Go ahead and unhand me. You know, he was like, yeah, let's do it here for the last time. Skirt, pause, speedo. What you mean? Yeah, you know, I'm getting ready to move and this is the last time you're gonna be here with me, but like, that don't mean we got to do it. But I ain't saying that's what I was thinking. What I told him was, that's cute or whatever. But if you want me to be on the type of time with you, you don't have to take back what you said. When you said that you'll never touch me again. And half of that other stuff you said too. And you know what that man did? He took it back, but it wasn't that day. I think I had started moving some stuff over to where I was moving to next, or where I'm at now. And you know, again, we were still talking, you know. That day he was just like, you know, it's no problem, no worries, you know, it's cool. I think like maybe a week later, I think that's when I started moving, or a couple days later, I don't know. I think I was moving that week. You know, we standing outside, so I was waiting for the keys, and he we talking, and I was just like, yeah, you know, it's what did I say to him? Like, it was something about me giving booty to somebody. I don't know. It was that type of conversation. And he was like, oh, well, I guess, you know, it's cool for whoever you're talking about. If I didn't say it before, we had also had a conversation about me not being intimate with anybody else while I was pregnant, because to me that's weird. You know, I know people fetish, they have a lot of fetishes. I didn't want to be somebody's pregnant fetish, so I was uninterested in entertaining anybody else while I was pregnant. So when he said that, I was like, again, this is just like the levels of disrespect. Even if he was playing, the levels of disrespect, and basically him showing how he felt about me and what he thought about me, or how he views me. So I want to say, eventually, like, I'm in my place, I'm settled, and you know, we're still doing things like, because at that point I'm not having doctor's appointments every week or anything like that. I think it was like once a month or something like that. So I think he's going to those with me. I think this was before we got into it again. So like, we'll be cool for like 2 weeks and then get into it and not talk for like 2 weeks. Like, it's just fucking insane. I'm sorry, excuse my language, but we are here, and like, don't get me started, because I don't know. I don't know when, I don't know how, but we started bumping monkeys again. And it wasn't all the time, because I was scared, I was cautious, because every time we did, I would start back up with the bleeding. So I wasn't really, I would want it, but I wouldn't want it because I was scared. My cervix is very, very, very sensitive. Very, very sensitive, apparently. So, yeah, there was a few times we was doing a do. And even after we would argue, like, it was one time he was supposed to come to an appointment with me, and he did something, I don't know, it just outright pissed me off, and I told him, I don't know what I told him. I didn't say nothing to him. So I guess he took that upon himself to not come. And then he had, which, like I said, my appointments were scheduled out a month in advance. So a month in advance, you knew I had this appointment. And I'm telling you that you need to be there as this baby's other parent. And then you go and make other plans, prioritizing. And maybe I'm wrong. So this particular one, and this is when I told him he didn't have to worry about coming to any other appointments, because don't ever put my unborn child on the back burner. Like, this child is equal to your other kids. He was there with me. I'm picking days that work for him. I'm picking times that work for him so that he's included, he's involved. So he knows what day it is. What I did was, because I was mad at him, like I said, I didn't say anything. I just took it off the calendar. But he saw it and he knew about it. I think he texted me sometime that week and was just like, I got something going on that Thursday. I might be able to move around. It was something like that. And, you know, I'm just like, okay, like, whatever. That's what it was. He said he had, I can't say that. That's too personal. And it's like, I'm not going to talk about the babies. The babies don't got nothing to do with this. But it has something to do with one of his older kids. And then he said he had to do something else. Like, go pick up a car from, that was getting fixed, or whatever the case was. So I was like, so you knew, again, that you had to schedule the appointment to go get the car. But you scheduled it on the day of my appointment anyway. And it's not like I took the appointment off the calendar like a day after it was scheduled. No, I took it off literally the week, like probably a day before we were supposed to go. So like I said, he knew about it. So he chose to do what he needed to do instead of being there at that appointment. So I told him, don't worry about it. Argued. They called me 14 times because I wouldn't answer the phone. Like, I didn't want to talk to him anymore because actually that might have been a different time. Either way, if I'm making these appointments around your schedule and you just slapping me in the face, you're not showing up, you're not telling me why you're not showing up, you're making plans over what you already know is here because it's a month in advance, I'm gonna have an issue with that, and I'm not going to talk to you. Anyway, so I don't know, it was like one night I was here and I knew he was out, and sometimes I do like to see him when he go out. Hold on, let me past tense. I liked to see him when he went out. So I told him to come to the house, and he did. We didn't fool around that night. I think he was a little put off because I had a pregnancy pillow. So like I wasn't cuddling with him or anything like that. Keep in mind, we were supposed to be done. But that morning, like I said, we did the things. And if you ask me if he finished, like in the yes. Still, even after I was pregnant. I mean, you know, you can't get me pregnant twice, but that was the thing. Anyway, where do we want to go with this? Hold on. But I want to keep in mind all this happening. Yes, he's still living in this house with this woman and these kids. At this point, I'm like 5 months pregnant, 4 months pregnant, 5 months pregnant, and nope. Let's backtrack just a little bit before we get there. I kept asking him, when are you gonna tell your family? When are you gonna tell your family that you got a baby on the way? Like when are you gonna tell them? And at one point did he say, when I get a DNA test, so this is my baby, or I'm gonna do a DNA test first, or I think you slick, you know, I'm not telling them until the baby's here, nothing like that. Put a pin in that. Like, never a conversation. But what I did offer was for us to do one just to be 1000% sure. Like, I'm, you know, 1,000,000% sure that you the daddy of my child, because I'm not messing with anybody else. But if it makes you feel better, we can do it. Put a pin in that. So I'm asking, when are you gonna tell, you know, sure, take your time, not take your time, but take your time and tell your kids, cool. But when are you gonna tell like your relatives? Like, outside of the people in your household, your immediate relatives, when are you gonna tell them? And he's like, oh, I don't know. So at this point in time, I'm starting to plan for my gender reveal. I just did something cute, you know, outside, balloons, spray, confetti, all that good stuff. And I would have wanted them to come. You know, this is a new addition to your family, so, you know, come out here, because my family's out here. You know, me and him not together, but it wasn't about that. It was just about having, you know, community and connection for this thing, for the not this thing, for the baby, you know, finding out what the baby is. So even that, leading up to that, crazy. He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready to tell anybody. Hold on, I gotta take this call. So it was a long call anyway, but I'm back. So he wasn't ready to tell nobody. I don't think that man told anybody that he had a baby on the way until I didn't find out about the gender until I think I was 22 weeks pregnant. I think like 15 weeks pregnant. I'm like, bro, you need to start telling these people that you got a baby on the way. Like, how do you think they're gonna feel if we're doing stuff and they're not invited? Now, personally, if it was me doing stuff and I didn't invite my family, they would definitely feel a type of way. 1000%. The people that I claim as family, they would feel a type of way if I didn't invite them, right? So, So gender reveal comes around. I'm not sure. I don't remember if he had told anybody by then. I think, I don't know if he told anybody. I know they didn't come. I don't think he told anybody then. So, like I said, I found out what I was having at 22 weeks. I think at 24 weeks, that's when I had my gender reveal. Halfway through this pregnancy, you ain't tell nobody, right? And if they did know, like I said, I would have invited them, you know, told him to tell them to come out or whatever the case is. But like I said, I don't think they knew at that time either. They might have knew, but I'm not sure. Like they didn't come out. So it was all my people. And then that day, the day of my gender reveal, this guy, bald head. And this is why we call him bald head, because he act like it. So I think I told him what my gender reveal was. Leading up to that day, eventually he told me that he had to go set up for an event. He had to go set up for an event, and that he would be able to make it the day of the gender reveal. I call him, hey, where you at? I'm downtown. I'm setting up for this event. It's running over, yada yada yada, and I kind of want to be here. Excuse me? So you telling me you don't want to come to the gender reveal for your baby because you're setting up for an event when y'all see each other all the time? And I'm not going to say who the y'all is, because that's not my business. That's not my story to tell. That's his business. But y'all together multiple times throughout the year. And this is one time. One time. They never had no gender reveal before because they was not doing these back in the day. Not for real. And if they were, it was far and few. This is your first gender reveal for your last child. But you want to be... Okay, cool. I said, well, listen, I haven't left the house yet. I should be leaving the house soon. And then, like, just meet us out there. He like, yeah, cool. Just, like, don't wait on me. Like, he's not coming. I said, okay. Because wherever he was, it was about 40 minutes from where I had the gender reveal, I think. But, like, everybody knew the time. But we running on CP time, so everybody's late. Why? So, obviously, I get there. He's not there. I'm not calling. I'm not texting nobody. It was a few people that were late. Family. But I knew that they had stuff going on, right? There's no excuse for him. I knew about everybody else. So I'm just kind of like... what was going on, like, you know. But like I said, I put it to the back of my mind, whether you show up or not. And this is his first time meeting, like, my people that, like, my people. And this is the impression that you're giving them. You're not here. You're not here. So we're going on, we're doing all the things, little cute things for my gender reveal. And as soon as they popped the color, here come his bald head behind walking up. So, like, he wasn't there in the video, but he was walking up as they shot off the not to mention the balloons for my gender reveal. The balloon that boy just escaped and was in the air. So all we had were the little things that shoot confetti. Did we have any powder? I don't think we had any powder. I think it was just the confetti ones. So he shows up, and so now he's smiling or whatever, and so instantly the vibe is now off because you were about to miss this. Where was you at? Yeah, like, nobody was happy that he was there. Like, and I mean, the general consensus was they hypothetically wanted to throw this man in the Detroit River. And then like I said, his vibe was just off. Everybody was like, why he even show up if he was gonna be here acting like that? He didn't really talk to anybody. Outside of not talking to anybody. I think he talked to a few people, but he didn't really like talk to anybody. He was just sitting there looking crazy, but like he took a couple pictures with me, act like he didn't like me in front of my family. Nothing disrespectful, but like it was one of the pictures that we took, like we kind of hugged, and it was just kind of like, I was like, act like you like me or something like that. And he was like, and I'm just like, not in front of my family, but I don't do too much because they already don't like you. So we getting ready to leave, and like he up on me, like he up on it, like it's just me and him. And like he, helped me put some of the stuff in the car, walked me to the car. He stood there while I was talking to some of the people that pulled up an hour late. When I tell y'all, like, this pregnancy it was absolutely interesting, because like the way I would not ever have another man's baby unless that was like my husband, not like, but my husband, wouldn't do it. So what else can I share before I go? Because right now we at, for the record, no, I'm not gonna say that, because baby daddy, he is fine. And I don't want nobody to get no ideas, but even if they did, I don't really care. Let me think. So remember when I said that none of the time that I was pregnant did he ever hint that he felt like my son wasn't his? At no point. The DNA test that was brought up was because I felt like that's something that men like to do, especially when they're having another child. I just felt like that's something that, not even just men, that both parents should want to do, just to be on the safe side, just to clear the air, just to have it all out in the open. You know what I'm saying? Unless you got something to hide. I don't got nothing to hide. So I didn't care when I offered up doing that DNA test. Now, where it got disrespectful was, which I don't think he said this to me until after my son was born, but it was just like, I don't trust you. I don't know what you was out there doing. I said he was the only man that I was dealing with. Outside of the break that we took for those, 2 months, 3 months, he was the only man that I was dealing with. So, what do you, like, now you turning this DNA test into something completely different, because before, it was just to make you feel good. Now is you want to do it to try to make me look bad. Like, I was just out here throwing ass at everybody, which I don't do that. Anybody who has tried to talk to me, anybody that talks to me that I genuinely like, knows that as a fact. Not easy at all. At all. Like, if y'all would understand how many, listen, all I'm gonna say is, I have to really like you in order for you to even get a whiff of anything. But yeah, that's how I'm ended right here, because I feel like I just kind of been like, I want the story to progress, right? But like, I don't want to give too much or too little, so. Oh. Before I go, the whole reason this man said that he didn't trust me was because he number one, he said I told him I would fetus delete this, which I never said. And then number two, I had an incident where it was a guy that I was dealing with in that break, but like I dealt with him before I dealt with Baldhead. But during our break, like, I doubled back. I shouldn't have, because it wasn't hitting on nothing. I guess I just wanted to be sure it wasn't hitting on nothing. But I had an incident where that dude, I'm pretty sure he pulled up to my house. Before I moved, he pulled up over there. I was at work because I work nights, but he was caught on my camera. So when he first came over, not bald head, but I'm gonna call him Taco Bell. When Taco Bell first came over, when we linked, during me and bald head's break, I didn't have a camera on my door, but I think that was him the night he showed up on that stalker shit. I had a door cam. So allegedly, because I don't want anybody trying to sue me. Allegedly, that was the dude. But it looked like and then there was like a couple people that we all worked with, that, because he didn't work where we worked anymore. There's a couple people that worked there that I showed that picture to, and I said, does this look like anybody you know? Just so I didn't feel crazy. And they was like, yeah, they look like such and such. They look like Taco Bell. But who knows? That man stalked me on social media. Who knows what the heck happened? But he said he couldn't trust me because of that, because he said, why does he know where you live? Well, I told you, bro. I linked with him when we was on break. Now what? Next, and keep in mind, I linked with that dude in 2022, and I got pregnant in 2024. Okay, that's where I'm leaving. Bye, y'all.